Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mayday Media. We're pointing out a few articles on the internet. I've got a few here we're going to go through. We're not going to hit them real hard. This one here, the Philippines, U.S., Australia, and Japan set to hold joint drills in the disputed South China Sea. British soldiers training in Kenya made to have unprotected sex with prostitutes in sick initiation periods. And we have the IDF ends active ground invasion, completely withdraws from southern Gaza. Well, are you sure about that? The world's kind of going to shit. We all know it. There's only one thing that we can do about it here in America. And that's the one thing that nobody wants to talk about, to do, organize, or even attempt, and that is some sort of a walk around your city, state, and federal houses, all on a unified day, over set reasons. Another thing that we can do is file a 6-month tax extension. If you do that with all having the same idea and purpose, and you get at least over 50% of the population to do it, that'll kind of make them shake in their knees. But I don't see America doing any of that. This is why I decided long ago I'm trying to get out of the country. We've got women that are being beaten, jumped, raped, old people beaten, jumped, mugged. We've got open borders. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's just fucking depressing, you know. Anyway, if you enjoy it, smash the like button. Subscribe. We'll keep chugging along. Here with this Philippines U.S. drill, they're basically prepping for Taiwan invasion from China. It's also some muscle flexing, I would have to say. It'll probably be ongoing, and I really couldn't find any dates when I was reading through this, except maybe today, Sunday. But there's going to be a meeting between them here. Sunday's dueling exercise comes days ahead of a state visit with Washington by Prime Minister Fumio Kishida for a meeting with the U.S. President Joe Biden, followed by the first ever trilateral summit with the two leaders and the president of Philippines. At that summit, three leaders will discuss expanding trilateral cooperation in a number of areas, including in the defense arena, with the trio aiming to build up Washington calls a collective capacity in the region that also reduces redundancy and improves security coordination. Tensions between Manila and Beijing have soared in recent months in the South China Sea. Yeah, they're wanting the whole schmear, and they make a lot of money just from the trading alone. I mean, I would be happy with that, but their balls are getting bigger because they're getting more aircraft carriers, and I think that's part of it. But they're also in a lot of debt, and they have a lot of uprisings each year, so they're in a lot of trouble too, which makes them even more dangerous. But I think that's what we'll see. We'll just see more prolonged fighting, or exercises and drills, and I think that it'll just be to try to deter China from actually making that invasion. But I still think, look for something to happen around, voting season here in America. I think they might try to make a move then. I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating. They're pushing a little too hard to not do something soon, really. All right. British soldiers training in Kenya made to have unprotected sex with prostitutes in sick initiation. Yeah, I mean, OMG, how gross, man, really. 1 in 20 have HIV or AIDS in Kenya. If you don't understand the severity of that, and that's just HIV, that's not including all the other herpes, the syphilis. I mean, they got syphilis out there out the wazoo. You got, all the other stuff going on, and you're trying to have an initiation, having sex with these nasty fucking women. Something's going on, and what I think is I seen a picture not too long back, and it showed the British captains and sergeants and all that. And not one of them were white; they were all Indian or black. And what do you bet that that's who these sergeants are, since they wouldn't name their names or anything? I bet it's this is on purpose. It's just demoralizing tactics by a bunch of foreign trash that shouldn't be in those countries. And I think maybe something will come of this. I mean, this is kind of this is a big story. I mean, you got your men in there that are supposed to be. These are, not forced to join the military. These are they're to have a draft too, I believe. And so these are duty-minded men, and you've got them fucking whores with HIV. I mean, I can tell you right now, somebody's ass would be sitting in prison, in a military prison, after a military tribune, and get down to the bottom of this. But again, most of the white nations are being destroyed and taken down, and the white man don't seem to want to stand up and do anything about it. The next is IDF ends active ground invasion, completely withdraws from southern Gaza, ending ground invasion. Yeah, is this because they're going to start the air raids, which is what I see happening? Once the movement starts from the Palestinians, they'll just start bombing them from the air like they always do. Wait and see. They're only going to let them move to one place, but there's some sort of a problem with that. Let me get down to it here. This means cannot. Okay, here we go. Critically, this means that Palestinians can, on one hand, move freely within southern Gaza and Khan Yunis, and that there is a complete vacuum for preventing a return of Hamas governments, but the IDF is keeping northern and central Gaza cut off from the south. This means Palestinians cannot move from south to north, and that over 2 million Palestinians, more than half of whom are northern Gaza residents, remain separated from their communities, with somewhere between 150,000 and 300,000 Palestinians remaining in northern Gaza who never left. So they technically can't move, and the only place they can move, it's just going to be bombed. That's what they always do. I mean, you tell me. I mean, what have you heard them do whenever they do these ceasefires or they stop some kind of invasion or whatever? What happens next? Yeah, go ahead and move here, and they bomb them. Which, I mean, is pretty demonic, really. I mean, I don't think anybody's done that in warfare ever. I mean, have they? I mean, I can't really think of it. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but just to sit there and do that, that's wild. And they don't get much hell about it from, say the U.S. Yeah, but hey, whatever. I'm gonna be hopefully moving in a few years, getting away from USA. And I don't know, boys and girls, if you listen to me, you might want to start looking into other countries too. Some places that keep their borders closed. I think that's just one of the most important things, especially after all this stuff with our borders. I mean, just going back to even 20 years ago, well, in the 2000s, they would let in, Hispanic Mexicans mainly, but they were going for intact families, and that's what they were wanting through. I mean, with that, I don't have much of an issue. I think they should have done it both with Canadians and Mexicans. Since they both border us, we have a lot in common. But this goes far beyond that. I mean, you don't really even see that many intact families. You just see certain aged males, and you see them of all different species. And a lot of them are, not Hispanic, by the way. So, I don't know. It's pretty wild to me. You tell me what you think. And in the meantime, smash that liker and subscribe to it. Toodaloo.